Hey, welcome back, guys. This is the 24-hour gamer here to bring you another multiplayer gameplay from Call of Duty Ghost. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about my ADD. ADD is attention deficit disorder, and well, let's start off with this. When I was younger, I would suffer through class. I remember that it would it would be hard for me to concentrate on what was actually being taught in school, and I suffer because of that. Because since I wasn't able to pay attention to what was being taught, I had bad grades. And when I started going to high school, that's when you start making more decisions for yourself, and because you start becoming either a young man or a young woman, I started cutting classes, and I finally just left school around the 10th grade. And unfortunately, I had to start working. So I started working ever since I was 16 years old, and I've been working ever since. But that didn't stop me. As of now, I am way older, but I am getting my associates in business, and I plan on getting my bachelor's. I studied to become an electrician, and that's currently what I work in. I work as an electrician's helper, waiting to get my licenses, and I didn't let that stop me. But going back to my ADD, and that's called motivation and never giving up. Never give up. No matter what happens in life, please, you have plans, see them through. Don't give up. Okay? So, about my ADD, back in, I would say about last year, I started looking at the systems for ADD and what I went through, and I started to compare. So, basically, I self diagnosed myself. The doctor, well, it's a she. When I started telling her my symptoms and what I thought, she was going over her list, and she said, "Yeah, you don't have to look at anything else. You actually diagnose yourself. You do have ADD." And she said, "You wanna, how do you want to treat this?" And I said, "Well, I need the help because in my university work, I was struggling, especially with math. So we decided to medicate. And there's a lot of fallacies that, uh, if that's even a word, there's a lot of myth that you become addicted or it's not good. But I gotta tell you, it's been a few months since I started being medicated. I'm not gonna mention which medication, and I have seen a whole lot of improvements. Memory has gotten better. My attention span has improved a lot. I recall better. This is one of the things I've wanted to do, YouTube, because it looks so much fun to me. And I'm actually having so much fun. But I didn't start it off because I was afraid and I thought I wasn't going to do it right or whatever. And here I am. I'm doing it. There's stuff that I started doing that I wouldn't do before. And with math, when I took Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, in Algebra 1, I started squeaking by. But Algebra 2, after 2 or 3 months of taking medication, I actually started to understand the concepts, and I passed the class. So there's a lot of improvement. I started taking on other projects, being YouTube one of them. And at home, I started doing other things because you start to procrastinate too much. I'm starting to come out of that. Another thing that I had while I was with ADD and I wasn't diagnosed, and all the things were going wrong, was depression. I was depressed a lot. Being depressed, I became anxious and I would eat just to eat. All of these things started accumulating. And ever since I've self diagnosed myself and I started getting treated, I got out of depression. And there goes my maniac. Trust me, this gameplay was phenomenal. I started my treatment. I started coming out of depression. Everything's starting to how do I say this? The light at the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to see it. I'm very happy. My relationship is perfect. Imperfect in terms of there's always arguments and things like that. But there you go. And but still, I love the woman I'm with. We had a child in July. That's my third child, and life is going really, really well. And there's something that I wish parents would have in their minds. If they see that their child has a problem, don't don't just overlook it. Get it treated. I know there's a lot of myth that medication is bad or whatever. I'm using medication. I'm doing just fine and great, and it's wonderful. I had an argument with the mother of my firstborn child because he has deficit ADD, and I wanted him to get treated, but she didn't want to, and that's really hard. But if there's any parents out there with kids that you see the symptoms, please take them to a psychiatrist. Let them get looked at and treat them. Treat them, because if not, they're gonna suffer through life like I suffered. You make a lot of bad decisions when you can't concentrate good, and then you become depressed or whatever. You make a lot of bad decisions. So please, if anything that you could take away from this, get the help that you need. Get the help. That way you could become a productive person in life, and you could live a fulfilling life. But an ADD is not like a mental disease that I can't control myself or whatever. It's just something that impedes me of being who I could be 100%, and I've taken care of that. So go ahead, go to the doctors, get yourself checked. There's a lot of people that self diagnose themselves. I was told that by the psychiatrist. She said that a lot of people come after they're already adults. That's something that I wish I did earlier. That I would have gone as a child, that my mom or my dad knew about the symptoms and would have taken me to the doctor, so that way I could have gotten diagnosed and treated. Things would have been a whole lot different if those steps were taken. But it's better late than never. And finally, me as a young adult, I finally came through. I went ahead. I got that taken care of, and I'm doing just fine, great, and dandy. So remember, anything, and it doesn't have to be ADD. It could be anything. Get yourself checked. My coworker, he got himself checked after a few years that he hasn't gone, and guess what? He came out with prostate cancer. Thank God he got operated and everything's fine. But if he wouldn't have gotten checked, he could have died from that. Don't be like that. Anything that you have, anything that you feel that you have, or nothing at all, go ahead and get a blood test. But please, go get yourself checked. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming, and see you guys later. Bye.